That's not true. That's not true at all. First of all, she drives like a granny.
She confirmed.
She is
she
from
was
Charlotte.
on my page.
Yep.
Oh, I thought you were saying Olivia said 2 hours. Like, oh, so she's like coming around.
No, Celia said that. But that's a lie because Celia drives like a grandmother. She cannot get from Southern Press Juicery to her apartment without a GPS. So, when you're driving with the GPS, you're not driving normal speed. You're like reading and no. Greenville to Charlotte, hour and a half on a bad day.
No.
Come
on. Not true.
Guys, there's only one way to settle this.
Yeah.
Olivia has to drive to Charlotte.
I'm happy to do it. I've done it many a times. But then Ari starts, well, I don't really live in Charlotte. I live on the outskirts. And
you don't know where I live, Olivia.
Remember when he told me he lived in the woods? He's like, I live in the woods. I was like, what?
She's like, it's not 2 hours. Like I live in the middle of uptown, like on a apartment, top floor and stuff.
Yeah, he's got his address is PH number 4.
Right.
The penthouse apartment.
It's another Friday. This week I did it my way. I made lots of juice and now I feel a boost. Baby say, oh, it's the way I make my juice. Pressing fruits and roots. This week I did it my way. Baby say, oh, now let's have some fun. There is nothing greater than Fridays at Good Nature.
Ow, ow, ow. What's up, my juice lovers? Welcome to Good Nature Radio. This is your host, Charlie Wetlaufer, joined by the 2 top juice business consultants in the entire world, Chef Ari Sexner, author of the Juicing Companion, and the guy, aka the guy that literally wrote the book on how to create unique juice recipes, and Olivia Esquivel, La Mujer. What was your nickname?
God.
La
I don't
Mujer
remember.
Cubana?
Yes. Wow. Yeah, that was like way back a year ago when we started.
Yeah, I mean, we're on episode...
That's vintage Good Nature Radio.
We're approaching episode 50. I think the next episode will be episode 50. So.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, I think so. So
that's
maybe we
amazing.
can do something special.
Yeah.
Founder and operator of Southern Press Juicery, the award-winning juice bar, smoothie, and acai bowl shop. Good Nature Radio is a weekly Friday podcast where the juicing industry comes to get help with starting and growing a juice business. Good Nature was founded in 1976 by my dad when he invented the commercial cold press juicer. Come on, everybody now. What? Interested in learning about a complete turnkey packages for starting a juice business? Schedule a free 30-minute call with the Dream Team. It's like your own private podcast. You can do that at goodnature.com/radio. And join the all-new Juicing Level Up weekly mentorship program at goodnature.com/level up, which is going awesome. We had our second meeting on Tuesday. I have the feeling people are getting more comfortable. A lot more people asking questions, chiming into the conversation. Yeah. It's really awesome. We went a little long that one because there's so much awesome conversation going on.
Yeah.
School of Juice. Use coupon code GNRadio for $100 off any course at learn.goodnature.com. And of course, join in on the discussion of the Good Nature Juicing Facebook group. Go to the Facebook groups and search for Good Nature Juicing. We're up to 5,300 people now, something crazy.
Dude, Good Nature is everywhere. We need to have a definition.
Everywhere you want to be.
Need, simple recipes, blog. Need individual recipes, Chef Ari. Need your own podcast. It's crazy.
This intro is getting longer and longer.
and longer.
I know.
Yeah, no, it's true though. We have so much content.
We have so much. I don't know how anybody could not find us, honestly. Yeah. Like anything you could possibly need. Like literally turnkey solutions, just, branding, just recipes, questions, community, live events, blog, pod. It's getting a little crazy, Charlie.
No, maybe we're doing
in a
too
good
much.
way. No, I think it's so, but you know what? Every single one has its own audience and every
Yeah.
single one has incredible engagement.
Look, ever since I started working for the family business, all I've been trying to do is serve our customers better. That's it.
Totally. It's
So all this
amazing.
stuff I'm doing, it's all just trying to be of service for amazing juice bar customers and juice business entrepreneurs. It's a unique group of people. It's a niche market.
Yep.
There's no other companies out there really serving them. So just kind of taking it upon our team here to try to serve the market better. So we keep doing these things and launching new products and new services. And, slowly but surely, I think the industry is growing and becoming stronger because of it. So I
Yeah.
take a lot of pride in it.
You ever
Well, I'll
think
just-
back like 10 years ago? There was nothing out there.
I know.
Right?
I mean, that's why I hired you,
I know.
remember?
That's when I started and there was nothing. And I was like
Yeah.
dying behind the line by
We all
myself.
started about the same time. I remember
Yeah.
when they told me to start that program, I searched cold press and nothing came up.
Yeah.
No,
Couldn't find
our
anything.
company was hard to find on the internet. Our website was built
Yeah.
in like 1996, and we still had a bunch of stuff on there that we didn't even make anymore, like milk pasteurizers and all this weird stuff. And then, I remember it's funny because the attitude back then was with the sales guy. He was like this real old school guy. He's like, "Well, I think it's good we're hard to find. That way we know they're serious when they find us." I'm like, dude,
Oh,
that's
God.
good.
Get out of here.
that's not how marketing works.
No, but I
awesome.
mean, I have to tell you, really, like when I started in 2015, the only research I was able to do was literally get on a plane and fly to big cities and sit in juice bars and take their paper menus with me and be like, okay, I see a trend here. There's like a detox lemonade. There's a couple of greens, an easy green and more hard green. There's smoothies. What is this bowl thing? Like it was literally, I hope I got miles for all the traveling I did because that was the only way to really research it. And then, Pinterest was big back then. It still is. You can still find our recipes on Pinterest. But really, that was it. I mean, it was like a Pinterest board and literally sitting there at somebody else's juice bar, ticking off. Like one person came in, got a juice. One person came in, got a smoothie. And like counting tally marks to try to figure out how many are they selling a day? What is their revenue like? How much do I think that it's probably costing them to make the smoothie? And it's just incredible that, I mean, I just want to say thank you as a business owner in the industry, the resources you've built. Honestly, now I'm like dividing them all between my staff. I've got a new partner that's coming in. She listens to the pod. Hi, Brandy. New director of operations.
Hey, Brandy.
Just all of these different little segments. Like my juicer, I always have him on like the FAQ maintenance page. You know what I mean? Like he's like, what is this? And I'm like, okay, well, here's the article about it. So it's really any segment that you're in, it's just been incredibly helpful. So thank you for all that you do.
Yeah, well, thank you for consuming the content. I'm just looking back on what the first article we ever put on the blog. I mean, so that's the first thing I did. I launched a new website which had an e-commerce store for buying parts, so people didn't have to call us on the actual landline phone anymore, and the blog, because everyone would ask the same questions that was starting a juice business. The very first article I ever published was in 2014, plastic versus glass bottles. And then blade and bag recommendations.
Still the number one question today, by the way.
Yeah, right, exactly. And then blade and bag recommendations for X1, sourcing organic produce, what is HPP and do I need it, mixing produce or grinding separately, and HACCP and SSOPs. I probably wrote that one with Ari. And calculating food costs, that was an early one. It was all like the super basic stuff.
Yeah.
And that was the start of the whole sort of content juicing empire that we started all those years ago. It's crazy. It's been 10 years. But it's been a lot of fun. And then I did this series for a while called Spread the Juice, where I'd go visiting juice bars all over the world. That was fun.
That was cool.
I'd like to get that going again. That was fun. I was traveling to like Japan and Korea and Australia and like just writing, stories of these juice bar owners, taking pictures and stuff. That was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
All right. So we have big news to share today.
Woof.
We are hosting the first ever School of Juice Live, with our superstar instructors, Ari and Olivia, and I might make a guest appearance myself, for 2 days hands-on training on how to run a profitable juice bar. So it will be all the best practices and all the stuff you must know to run a profitable juice bar. Each day we'll start with breakfast at Olivia's Juice Bar, Southern Breast Juicery. We'll head upstairs in the same building for classroom-style training from Ari and Olivia for a few hours, break for lunch, and then hands-on training the rest of the day in the actual juice bar. So we'll have Ari in the back of house, Olivia in the front of house.
Right.
We'll do stuff in the kitchen, doing bulk production juice on the X1 Mini, everything from prepping produce, weighing recipes, bottling, stocking the refrigerator, sanitation plans. Ari will walk through how to keep the kitchen clean and how to keep track of everything. Olivia in the front of house will be doing marketing stuff like social media, prep lists, opening lists, increasing revenue, merchandising, getting people in the store, how to build a profitable schedule, scheduling labor. Of course, smoothies and acai bowls. It's all going to be there, all in 2 days. It's going to be information overload, and you'll get a nice certificate when you leave. And everyone will know you are a juicing expert because you were trained by the best.
Listen, I think this is going to be better than JuiceCon. People ask us weekly when JuiceCon is happening. And I would just like to say that had I had the choice of JuiceCon or hands-on, whether I was just starting or I was, already on my venture, I think I would have chosen hands-on. JuiceCon I love. It's fun. It's, a lot of people. But I'm going to brag on Greenville for a minute. We just got voted #1 city to live in the U.S. We're always like top 10. We finally got #1. So make it a vacation. It's unbelievable. The restaurants are great. There'll be a lot of community time. I don't actually
very
have a mini.
Affordable too.
Super affordable. I don't have any.
There's tons of.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
there's tons of nice hotels in the area that are like $150 a night or less, and they're actually nice.
Stay in downtown Greenville. Nice. Yeah. Really good food, really great park. Bring the fam. I'm trying to get Ari and Charlie to bring their kids. The parks are awesome. It's great weather. I don't have an X1 Mini, so Charlie's bringing one, and
yes,
I'm excited about
send
that.
An X1 Mini. It will be there by the time we arrive in your beautiful city.
Ari's going to give me all new logs.
Yeah. Fresh,
right?
updated.
Total log upgrade.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth it for the logs alone.
Hands-on
guys.
log training.
Sign me up for log 101.
No, I love, especially when you do hands-on walkthrough, especially even the basic stuff like juicing. Like when I go in-person training for clients, there's so many different points of contact that can improve the quality of juice. That it's tough to just explain over the phone or through video, but actually just stopping and explaining that certain process, like mixing the produce or not pressing too quickly. All these certain aspects really affect the quality of juice, and we're able to go through that and kind of do a full walkthrough. I'm excited.
Yeah. And I think
setting up production schedule.
My goal with this is that people leave 100% confident that they have the tools they need, to hit the ground running and get started, and not feel like one of the biggest things people fear is just not knowing what they don't know, right? Like when we talk to a lot of our consulting clients, they're like, I just don't even know what I don't know. It's like, at least when you leave School of Juice Live, you'll know what you know, and you'll know maybe some things you need to work on a bit more so you feel comfortable. There's not going to be any of these, like, I don't know what I don't know type of feelings.
Right.
So that
Well, and
fear and uncertainty.
it's a live juice bar. So, I mean, you'll probably see us placing orders, looking at our order guides. Like it's all going to be happening. I mean, we're buying out Southern Press Juicery for the afternoon. So you will see the efficiencies. And I'm sure that Chef Ari will find some inefficiencies that like I'm going to be like viciously taking notes. I mean, there's stuff that we can all learn, but you'll see the orders come through the front door. You'll see how the smoothie bar is set up and why I like my almond butter over here and my honey over here, or, how I dump out the sink and how we get 4 or 5 tickets going at a time. Like, I think all of that is just aside from even just the educational and the in-person training, just watching the efficiencies, watching how you handle online orders and curbside orders and how you prioritize and who's going to restock. I mean, those are the things that when people come to train at Southern Press Juicery, they just feel so good about having, watching it from behind the bar. Because there's one thing to watch it from a seat, like I used to have to do, where I was like, okay, what are they doing? This girl's washing out a blender or whatever. And there's another thing being behind the bar with somebody and to watching an actual ticket come through and say, like, okay, you're running low on that. You need to stock up. All right, that was busy. Now it's time for a lunch. You got to prep. Like, I think that's the stuff that's really seeing how the kitchen is set up, where the cleaning supplies are versus where the produce and the weigh station. I mean, to how you rinse out the bag, the floor drain, all of that I think is going to, really give a good idea of how much space you need. And, I have a small kitchen. So, and we've rearranged that thing. I can't tell you how many times, a million times. And I'm sure there's still efficiencies that we could do.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited.
Getting behind the juice bar, getting in the kitchen, actually, basically going through the steps yourself.
Right.
Like you're basically working at a juice bar. And we have a real curriculum we're putting together. It's going to be actually organized education. So we're going to cram a lot in those 2 days. So definitely be worth it. The admission is $2,900. We are giving 10% off. You book before the end of March. So that's a $290 savings. If you're considering buying multiple tickets for multiple people in your group, just reach out to us. There's a contact form on the landing page there. goodnature.com/School of Juice Live. Yeah. Well, I'll put the link in the show notes.
Because it's a very limited event, right?
Limited to 20 seats.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure that everyone there is getting plenty of hands-on time and getting plenty of attention from the instructors, so nobody feel left out. So yeah, we're limiting it to 20, and anticipate selling out. Not sure, it's our first one, but so if you're coming, I would suggest booking soon. Get the savings and don't miss out.
And I think too, it's important to say that those 20 people, they'll be split during hands-on training. So half will go with Chef in the back, half will stay up with me, so that you'll actually get your hands dirty, make recipes, do all of the things, and then we'll flip-flop. So it's a lot different being with a small group that you can actually than just being like trying to look over everybody and see what's happening. So it'll be all business.
Yes. Everybody will get hands-on time. It'll be fun.
Are we going to have any sort of competition? Like at JuiceCon, we do recipe. Remember what did we do at JuiceCon? It was like best juice.
But I don't know if we'll have time. Too much learning.
Come on. There's always time, Charlie. Maybe it's between me and Ari. Maybe it's between me and Ari and Charlie.
Maybe we can see who can fill 10 bottles of juice the fastest or something.
Oh, no. I need something better than that. I need some sort of certificate.
Axe throwing?
Oh,
no, yeah. Charlie, because we all sucked at that and you won. So we're not going axe throwing. Yeah. You're such a show off. I liked being with Eric, your brother.
Yeah, we will also be surprising the people at the event with some fun stuff. But it's going to be a surprise.
Giveaways.
Think like Oprah sort of kind of stuff. But it's a surprise. So if you want to know what it is, you got to come.
Oh.
Nice.
Secrets are no fun. All right, so let's get into the topic of the day. Today we're talking about delivery. So I want to talk about a bit about using third-party services like Uber Eats and DoorDash, and then also which items do deliver well, which ones may not, and how you can kind of make sure items are delivering well. And then we could talk a bit about some other types of apps that can help offload some merchandise. So first of all, Uber Eats, DoorDash. Olivia, what's your experience with this?
Okay, so I actually don't do this. It's such. I think the jury is still out. There was a comment about this on Facebook, and people were like, "Oh my God, do it, do it, do it." I had a juice bar, a Southern Press Juicery in Austin, Texas, and this was, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago. And it was really when food delivery was starting to get pretty hot, and we didn't have a delivery service internally. We were over at the Domain in Austin, and Austin's always a trending town. It's going to be one of those that's always doing the hottest things first. I think we went with Grubhub. I think was sort of. I don't think Uber Eats was out yet. I think we did Grubhub, and I had a really tough time with the commission sharing. I thought that they were taking too much out of the product, and in order to really be profitable for me, I was going to have to increase the price, which just felt like I was at the tip of the market. Like I didn't feel good about doing a $15 bowl, a $15 smoothie, to be able to account for what they were taking. Now I almost feel like it's a different ball game. Like today, I know that we talked about this was going to be our topic, and I was like, man, do I need to get back into that? Do I want to try it? During COVID, we did something a little bit different where we started taking orders from sort of outlying neighborhoods and towns. And so we would take pre-orders and we would say, okay, meet the Southern Press Juicery van out in like the Target parking lot in the neighboring town at pick up from 3 to 4. And so people would place their order. We knew exactly what to produce. We knew exactly how much to prep, and then they would come and pick it up, and it was really helpful for them. And that was really successful. And I don't know. I'm such a control freak, guys, like especially for bowls and smoothies. I worry about, first of all, I don't get delivery food service myself, so I'm not super informed about how it happens, but I worry about somebody taking a frozen bowl, okay, which is essentially this consistency of ice cream, putting it in their car, and then what? Like, do they have other deliveries? Are they then going to go to the grocery store? Are they then going to go and pick up pizza? Are they then going to put it on a hot pizza box? And then by the time it arrives to chef's door, it's melted. And who gets the call? Me. And then it's like, oh my God, I just paid $14 for a bowl and it's melted. So I don't know. I think I'd feel more comfortable with juice. Like, at least that I could control a little better.
I don't know too much about the price points. I have heard that most of them have gotten pretty pricey. Like not initially were that expensive for what they take, but I've heard it's gradually increased. What I like about those apps is from a sanitation standpoint is it gives a lot of operations ability to actually deliver because you're responsible for that product until the point of sale. So if you do Uber Eats, Grubhub, whatever, that's those third-party apps, that it gives you the ability to actually deliver product without having to worry about the sanitation aspect, because then they're in control of it from there. So that is kind of a good option if that's what you're looking for. Because outside of that, you'd probably have to get an approved HACCP plan to deliver to people.
Right. Well, okay. So legally, yes, I think you're covered there. But theoretically, like if the bowl or smoothie becomes contaminated by the time it leaves your place, and it's now contaminated because it was exposed to something in the driver's car or mishandled or whatever, really, how do you prove that from a liability standpoint?
Yeah.
That's
that's
where it gets
if
sloppy.
You did have a HACCP plan, if you did have a HACCP plan, it would be easy to prove your every touch point basically. But I mean,
because you'd have a log.
I wonder what the
And it would be
pricing
like,
is. They take a percentage, right, from what you
Yeah,
sell?
it's usually like 30%.
That's tough.
it's a lot.
Now it's a lot. Like you kind of these days it's like food service set themselves up to be a delivery company, so it's all built into their prices, But like I think it's a struggle for juice bars, and I know there was a group of juice bars or like restaurants in the Vegas area that kind of got together to start their own little mini delivery company just for their
Mm.
brands because they couldn't
Oh, that's so
afford to
smart.
pay
Yeah.
like DoorDash because it is a lot. Sometimes they end up making more money than you do on everything. And now you can negotiate. I've heard that like when you're about to sign up is the time where you can negotiate lower rates. Sometimes they don't give you lower rates forever and they'll increase the rates again. But um, yeah, it is very expensive. It works well for companies that have it built into the price. Like, I don't know. Like there's a lot of restaurants now that have a whole delivery menu, and it's actually sometimes different than even
Yeah.
the in-store menu.
I would like you mentioned, Olivia, I definitely probably would avoid all the smoothies or frozen products, just because I mean it's great to be able to offer your full menu, but you got to think about the quality of what those people are going to receive. We used to do that with a lot of restaurants. There's certain items you can't get to go because it's going to
Mm-hmm.
affect the quality. I mean, I would definitely not do. I don't know, smoothies. It seems like it would be a great option to order delivery, but it's so
I don't know.
tough.
I've tried it. And it showed up melted and kind of watery,
Yeah,
and I was like, ugh,
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not
And
a good
I will say,
experience.
like on the flip side, we're definitely turned into a major convenience society where like guests will say, I'm totally willing to pay for that. I'm totally willing to pay $7 to have my Starbucks delivered. Well, which, first of all, I think is just gross from just a consumption standpoint. Like it's just seems like not the right direction for society to go in. But politics aside, um, one thing that I have experienced, like Chow Now used to call me all the time. I mean, I'd be in the middle of lunch rush and they'd call me and I would just lay it out. Like, you guys, you're in the restaurant business, you're trying to get my business and you're freaking calling me in the middle of lunch rush. I'm not, first of all, now you've annoyed me. I'm not interested. So we declined them several times. We don't want to be represented. We don't want any drivers coming through, whatever. They continued to put us on their menus as an available
Hmm.
option. And what happened? They pulled our menus from 2015, food items that we no longer make, that are no longer even in my point of sale system. A driver would show up. They never say, I'm a driver from Chow Now or from Uber Eats or whatever. You think it's just a normal guest, right? So I'm treating them like a normal guest, the most hospitality that I can afford. And they say, I want the pad thai zoodles. Well, sorry, what do you mean? Like I don't have that. Well, that's not. Yes, it says right here on the menu. And they show me a menu with my logo, right? That they have pulled from
Wow.
God knows where. And they're like, it's available. It says it's available and it's been charged already, right? Because obviously they've charged it through whatever the app, and now the app has that person's money. And so what happens? They call the guest, they put me on the phone with the guest, and the guest is arguing with me. Well, it's on their app. Well, it's on their menu. You need to make it. And I'm like, people, they don't have my permission to put my menu on their app. And who gets the bad review? Olivia gets the bad review. Southern Press Usury gets the bad review because
Hmm.
now all that they care is I paid for that to have this made. I saw it on the website, which has my logo without my permission on it, and you refuse to make it for me. There's no information about how they took my menu without my permission, that I didn't, agree to work with this partner or anything. So that's the stuff that's really left me with a bad taste in my mouth, aside from the fact that I just feel like it's really, really high price. I mean, there's not a ton of margin. If I've got what a 60-70% profit, great. But now you take another 30% off of that. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah,
just
it
seems
definitely
like a
works
lot to
better
me.
for super high margin stuff, like you said, like Starbucks or something, right? Because their
Right, right.
margins are super high for coffee, and they add
it's
on a
not
bunch of
not
fees and
super
stuff.
time sensitive for the
Right.
quality as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and also additionally, I mean, where I had the issue with the smoothies was when I was living in Santa Monica. I mean, a lot of the Uber drivers are riding around on bikes. The Uber Eats people, they're on bicycles, so they don't even have an air conditioned car like keeping everything cold. They've got it in a
Oh,
bag on
yeah.
the back in their backpack. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
so
Oh, God.
yeah,
Yeah.
super hard to control
That's
the
what Jimmy
quality.
John's does. Yeah, that's what Jimmy John's
Really?
does. And so they'll show up with their backpack, because they're like super fast and they're like pulling out your sandwich and like who knows, the guy's socks are in there or something. And I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? Like my cookies next to your stinky socks. I don't
It's
know.
your gym
I will
clothes.
say, right. I may try it again. I don't know with which service. I'm going to refer back to the Facebook post that was on the Good Nature site and see what everybody's commenting, because I thought there was some really good interaction there. But if I do go forward with it, I think it would probably just be juice. And I think I would really, really, really weigh the difference between having somebody on staff delivering in a refrigerated van versus having taking the commission and taking a cut
Right.
and
Now you
that
you
sort of
could
thing.
do what they did in Vegas. Like you could get together with restaurants
Yeah,
on your same couple blocks and just hire one full-time driver. It's like,
right.
guys, let's just like split this
Let's all
expense.
split one guy. Yeah,
Yeah, one guy or two guys or whatever.
it's not
There's
a bad
always
idea.
yeah. Interesting idea. I guess it comes down to who's going to actually manage the driver and stuff, but I guess you could figure that out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of apps, I did find some cool apps that work for they're a good idea for actually juice bars. That might actually be a great option. You know how a lot of times people always are conflicted on offering 50% off juice or
Right.
happy hour because they have too much surplus. There's a lot of apps I've seen kind of grown in popularity. There's the first one I saw is called the Goodie Bag app, and I think another option is Too Good to Go or something like that. And essentially what it is they partner with local restaurants, and it's really gives them the options to send out to whoever downloaded the app. They'll get pinged and say, oh, Southern Press Juicery has 5 bags. You just pay that amount. It's like 50% of what you normally sell it of juice that might be expiring the next day. They'll claim it, pay for it, and then it's their responsibility to pick it up within a certain time. It's really awesome.
So they don't even get to pick flavors. You have to put it all in a bag. Like,
no. And the cool thing about it, what I really like is, it works great for bagel shops, donut shops, pizzerias, stuff that at the end of the night, they'll have a surplus of stuff. And their main mission is really to eliminate waste, so
Right.
you get it from a bagel shop, they'll just put it all in a Ziploc bag and basically give it to you. You could freeze it and use it.
Yeah.
It's probably that's great. And I mean, when I downloaded to check it out, there's actually a few juice bars on there. And
Really?
I just thought it's such an amazing opportunity because you download the app, you put in, it's in certain locations, and then you'll just get a text message. This is available to claim. They have 5 bags. You click it, you pay for it right there, and then you just swing by and pick it up. It's pretty amazing.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm looking it up now. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's similar to what is it like last night or last minute rooms or something where like you can go on and get a hotel room really cheap, but they won't tell you where it is. Right? Oh yeah, hotels tonight. They won't tell you where it is until after you book.
Yeah.
I knew someone that used to use that all the time. Like I gotta know where I'm booking.
I gotta know where I'm going.
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah, but it's always a great deal. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know.
Is it?
Yeah. Or is it just the Motel 8 put themselves on there for the same $35 a night that
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the idea though. I mean, anything to eliminate waste. It was
no, that's great. If you could just like sell 6 juices for 75% off or something at the end of the night.
Totally.
You don't want to throw them away if they're going to go in the garbage otherwise.
And awesome. I mean, I could see the pain where you have to advertise happy hour or 50% off. Like you don't want to advertise expiring
No, that's true.
juices.
Since it's a
There's nothing
different
wrong.
marketing channel completely,
Mm-hmm.
you can kind of have more flexibility there. Because the people on that app are specifically looking for this sort of like surplus stuff at the end of the day. And they know what they're buying, so you can sell to them cheap. I really like that.
And stuff flies quick.
Yeah, because people get afraid of being like the discount model. You know what I mean? Of like, people, they know that I put my juice on sale every day at 2:00, and
Exactly.
so they only come at 2:00.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the newest
All
member
right.
of Goodie Bag. I just got a congratulations text.
Just signed up.
Yeah,
We've been
Oh,
saying
nice.
congratulations on being the newest Goodie Bag member.
Nice.
I see them. They pop up. I've been trying to claim a goodie bag for a week and a half.
It goes that
I'm
fast?
too slow. Yeah.
Really?
Oh man.
It's crazy. I think some operations actually just sell their stuff on there, like, because it's posted. We got 10 bags and they're gone instantly. Like
Wow.
Okay.
I'm like
So
trying
it's
to.
on Boulder, Fort Collins, Columbus, Denver, Colorado
Yeah.
Springs, Charlotte, and Phoenix.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
Kind of-
limited right now.
There's probably similar startups though in other places.
There's
I'm guessing.
tons.
Yeah.
There's quite a few.
Cool. We just
There's some good.
Ari.
There's some good stuff, Ari. You need to get on here.
man, you know.
Yeah, I'm promoting an app I haven't even been able to use yet.
well, that's like when we promoted the Byte Technologies fridge. You know, they've been
Right?
juice bars have become like their biggest customer now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have made millions off of that, Charlie, and you just did it out of your own
Millions.
goodwill.
Yeah.
What a lost opportunity.
I just
But-
want
Like I
one
said,
goodie bag.
I'm just trying to serve our
Just helping the
customers.
people. What a martyr you are. That's amazing.
Speaking of which, don't forget to book your seat at School of Juice Live.
We have so many seats. You don't even know what seat you're selling right now, Charlie.
We might be
Almost said-
sold out by the time this airs.
I'm almost at juicing level up.
I
That's something else.
But let's talk about juicing level up and what our next topic is going to be, because I think it's a really good one.
Go for it. You have the mic.
Oh, we're going to be talking about payroll. We're going to talk about building a profitable schedule, paying yourself, and sort of that hierarchy within the restaurant of who, it can be so overwhelming to be the owner or the manager and have everything. You're responsible for everything. So I really want to sort of drill down what responsibilities you should have, what your key holders should have, what your hourly staff should have, and how you can sort of divvy that up. And little hints and tips and tricks about how to skinny down your labor so that you can hit more of those sales, more of that profit to the bottom line, and have a more profitable month.
Awesome. And since it is the private group, you'll be coming with real company examples of how much you pay your staff and everything. And we'll share all kinds of good stuff, which is the best part of the group. And it is, just to remind everybody, it's a group call on Google Meet. So people speak up, they ask questions, they talk about the problems in their juice bar. They type in the chat. It's awesome. It's a really
They guide the topics too, right?
Totally.
Yeah,
Another
this was someone suggested.
They picked this one.
Yep. That was very cool.
Yeah,
It's
and
all
I
about the
also want to
members.
talk about tips and payroll, and how I'll show exactly the tip sheet calculator that I use and how we pull tips and how that's allocated by hours. Because that's something like, this week we just started hiring. And so one of my biggest sort of titles for a job, opening, right? Like on Hire Me or whatever, is that it's a large tip pool. And so, being able to advertise, some staff benefits like that and job benefits is really good. So we can talk about, whether everybody's going to be pooled. We touched a little bit on it last week, Chef, about 2 different schools of thoughts. You can have everybody trained on every station and tip pool out the whole staff, or you can just tip pool the front of the house and give the back of the house a higher hourly rate. So we'll go through all of that and benefits, pros and cons of all of those options.
Interesting tidbit. I don't know if this is federal or Texas law. I would have to look it up, but I was just talking to somebody that owns a service business, and he said it's actually illegal to share tips with managers.
Yeah, salary, do you mean? Salaried employees?
Maybe. That might be what it is.
Yeah, you can't share tips with salaried employees.
It's odd. Why is that?
Because usually they're getting a higher rate and they're getting paid the same amount whether they're there or not. So, like if their day off is Thursday, Friday, they can't share in the tip pool.
Why though? I mean, I just don't get like why that's not up to the. Not what? Okay, I don't know. It's like it seems like
Charlie.
Just seems like, yeah, whatever. Tips are almost just like I mean, tips are more like a tax these days. I mean, the three options you get when you sign the iPad are like 18, 20, 25. And it's like, oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like people are literally like, hey, you did a great job, I'm going to tip you today. It's kind of like just a tax on the food these days.
Yeah, but let me tell you, it adds up. Like my associate the other day, we had a large catering order. We made them tip 20% because it was a huge order and we required that, and she made more that day in tips than she made an hourly, and she's almost at $17 an hour. Ooh, and she worked like an 11-hour day. So she made, she made like a $200 and something just in tips that day.
There's some places
she ended up making close to $40 an hour.
I understand tips and stuff, but I went to a restaurant the other day and it was like new age kind of QR code.
Oh yeah.
Waitress came by. Hey, here's a menu, but you could use your food's gonna be a lot quicker if you just scan it. You can order the food right from the table.
Exactly. Yeah.
No service at all.
And then like they got a tip at the end. I'm like,
yeah. Yes, exactly.
I'm going to tip, but I was like, I still feel like, oh.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I mean, Vegas is out of control now. Yeah. I mean, I got picked up in a taxi from the airport. I think the tip options were 25, 30, and 35% of the taxi ride or other. So I had to hit other. I'm like, what? What is this? It's crazy. As soon as you get in, it's like $20. It starts at $20 already. You're charged at the airport, or 25 or something.
First quarter mile.
Yeah, then it tips up every quarter mile or something. And then that starts at 25% for the tip you can select. Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
It's crazy.
Okay. Good stuff, guys. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Everybody, see everybody next week.
See you then.
See ya.
Okay. This week I did it my way. I made lots of juice and now I feel a boost. Baby say, oh, it's the way I make my juice. Pressing fruits and roots. This week I did it my way. Baby say, oh, now let's have some fun. There is nothing greater